Howdy friends, let's make chili. You need a cup of frozen corn or fresh corn. This is my new awesome cutting board, just had to show it. Then you need 2 cups of onion. I used yellow, but you can use red or whatever you want. You need a cup of bell pepper. I used yellow this time, whatever color that you want, doesn't matter. We're just looking for pretty and tasty. And it didn't want to come out of the cup, clearly. You need 2 large jalapenos. I left one with the seeds in and one without. That way we have heat, but not so much because I want my 7-year-old stepson to be able to eat it too. Then you're going to add 8 cloves of garlic. I am doing garlic that I keep in a mason jar with olive oil because I love the way it tastes. 7 pounds of hamburger. I know it's a lot, but we're going to cook it and we're going to drain it. We're going to chop it up. Put it right back in this pan. And we're going to move on with our stuff. Then we're going to add our garlic. And by the way, if you've never done this before, put some olive oil in a jar and put a bunch of cloves of garlic in there. Make sure the olive oil covers it. Let it sit for a week. The best. It makes the best tasting oil. So good. To this pan that we have drained all of our grease from and have our hamburger and stuff in, we're going to add the rest of the vegetables. And we're just going to make sure that you incorporate this really well. And right now we have our heat on medium because we don't want to burn everything as we are adding it to the pot. But we do want heat still. We just don't want it to burn. Once we've incorporated all of our vegetables in, we are going to add a whole cup of chili powder. Then we're going to add a half a cup of parsley, half a cup of cumin. To that, after mixing, we're going to add a teaspoon of cumin seed, a teaspoon of chipotle powder, because again, I want some heat, but I'm not trying to, eggs out my kiddo that's in the house here. And then you're going to do 4 teaspoons or 1 tablespoon of salt. You really need to add some salt to this. We're going to add beans in a minute, and they are going to suck up a lot of the salt. So 4 tablespoons is plenty for these 7 quarts of chili that we are going to make today. Now, earlier I had a half a cup of black beans, a half a cup of kidney beans, and I put them in a pot and boiled them for 30 minutes. And then I let them cool and set them to the side. We're also going to add 6 jars of diced tomatoes, or you could add stewed tomatoes, whatever kind of tomato that you would prefer. We just want to make sure we get all the tomatoey goodness in there. We're going to mix it in, and then we're going to add those beans that we had let sit around. I just drained them, and we're adding them to the pot. And then we're going to incorporate this together really well. And we're going to bring this to a boil and then bring it down to a simmer for 20 minutes. Once you've done that, you're going to leave yourself an inch of head space, because we want to make sure that there's enough space that as it heats in the pressure canner that it can bubble and cook and do all its things. We're going to wipe our rims with white Ven. You want to make sure you do this really well, because even though we drained the grease in the burger, there's still a little bit in there. That's just the reality of what we're making. You're going to put your flats on and your rings on fingertip tight, and you're going to put this in the pressure canner for 90 minutes because this is meat. And this is what came out as.